Don't fuck up. Don't fuck yourself. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Rude Cooking School podcast. I'm your host, John Hauser III. And on with me, hanging out with Godzilla, is...
Evan the Mayor.
Hey, how's it going, man? How you doing?
Kicking it. Not really, because my food is in a boot.
Your food is in a boot. Are you Canadian? Actually,
might
goes
as well
good
be.
with today's thing.
That's right.
It's a boot. It's a boot. Are you a boot the hoose?
No, I am not a boot the hoose. I am stuck on my cooch.
Gross. So do you have one of those little walker things yet that like you see everybody that they rest their knee on and then scoot around?
No, I kind of want one. Because I'm going to the baseball game on Sunday, and I'd rather have that than like just a crutch and a boot.
You gonna run the bases?
Yes.
Nice.
I'm gonna get in this. They're gonna give me a rascal. And I'm gonna,
You're going backwards
around those bases.
Backwards.
I'm gonna do some wheelies on those bases.
Sweet. Remember when
no donuts, not wheelies.
When the Oriole bird would drive around in that thing, it was sweet. They don't let him do that anymore. Baseball, it's fun. By the way,
yeah, home opener canceled today because of air quote rain.
Yeah,
and it's like
it still hasn't
barely
rained
raining. Right?
Is it raining right now?
Kind of raining.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
There was like a little bit of thunder a minute ago, but it's like otherwise been a perfect day.
Yeah, this day's like well, it would have been hot and gross and muggy, and I mean, you know.
So Baltimore weather.
Yeah, it's baseball weather. It's fine. Did you see that friend of the show, Jesse Sandlin, is going to have a pop-up there?
No.
Yeah, Sally O's is going to have a pop-up at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Pretty sweet.
Well, I hope they sell out.
And she's doing fucking pork rind nachos. And I'm like,
wow,
thank you. I cannot wait to go to the baseball game. Just
God,
for
if
that.
only I could. When I was doing the beef jerky, could you imagine?
What?
Like how hard I would sell that beef jerky at a baseball game.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like one thing that they really don't sell that, like, why not?
Not really. And I came danger close to selling it to the Ravens. But
oh, really?
Their nutritionist was like, "You're too expensive." And I'm like, well, I'm one person. Like, what do you want me to do? I'm not like Jack Links over here.
Evan Links.
Yeah.
It's like they're, let me see, because she was posting about it today, and I was like, holy shit. Like, I know that they had let's see, they're going to do smash burgers, pork rind nachos, and walking mac and cheese.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
So basically walking mac and cheese is mac and cheese in a cone?
I don't know. That might be like you know how they do the things with the chips in the bag?
Yeah, walking taco.
Yeah, maybe it's that kind of thing. Maybe it's mac and cheese on top of
mac and
chips.
cheese.
I wouldn't put it past
I eat my mac and cheese out of a bag and strapped to my face.
Oh yeah, I could beer bong some mac and cheese. Let me tell you. Oh God, could you imagine? Oh God, oh fucking hot. You'd have to puree.
Put it in a blender and then I bong it. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's no grosser. Oh, maybe it is grosser, way grosser than the dude last year who I think he was a Baltimore Sun guy or maybe the Banner. And they instituted, you can like bring your own food in a bag now. And he brought like a bag of tortellini.
Oh, that asshole.
With sauce and everything.
What a dick.
And him and his girlfriend were like eating out of this bag of tortellini.
That's gross. I have a friend who
nice refreshing tortellini for the old baseball game.
I have a friend who goes once a year and brings a bucket of chicken. And he just sits out in the outfield, just eats a bucket of chicken, him and his son. It's their yearly. It's like he goes to more than one baseball game, but he does the chicken thing once a year.
I mean, that's fine as long as you're not throwing the bones everywhere.
No, he throws them back into the bucket.
I cannot stand people who do that shit.
I go to the park, and I don't know what this is about, but constantly next to all of the benches,
is
either chicken bones,
right,
or crab shells.
Okay.
And I'm like,
who just sits on a bench with like some crabs in their lap?
it's constant. And it's all over the park. It's not just one spot. So it's multiple people. And it's so weird. It's like, I'm just going to have me a snack of 3 crabs. Like, what the fuck? That is maniac level thinking.
I mean, I've seen plenty of, this is Baltimore. Like, I've seen plenty of people sitting around on a bench, like eating a chicken box or something like that. But that, God, motherfuckers always throwing bones on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
It is so disgusting.
And if you walk a dog, it's terrible because they find every fucking bone.
Yeah, and they go after it.
And they come up like the goddamn.
They die.
They come up like the goddamn Rancor monster with a bone in their mouth, like, like all stuck in there and shit. Like, dude. But yeah, crabs is such a weird thing, especially in the summer. And then
it's a weird flex.
Then it starts to smell really bad.
Sure,
because
but the raccoons love them.
Yeah, I bet. I don't think there's any raccoons in Patterson Park.
I bet you there are.
There's a fox. I've run into a fox a couple times, which is always really cool. I want to take it home.
We have a member of our Discord who their neighbor has a fox den like in their backyard.
Oh shit!
And they just had a litter, and there's all these baby foxes like running around the backyard.
That's kind of terrifying, though.
It's the cutest thing ever.
They're vicious animals.
Oh please!
They will eat your leg off.
They're trying
or
to
will they eat their
themselves.
leg off? What's that?
I said they're trying to domesticate themselves.
Yeah, they're pretty dumb. They're just like, Coop, can you put us inside? It seems pretty warm in there. Yeah. The amount of squirrels is insane. The amount of there's a couple ospreys that my wife likes to point out. And then what are the giant, we talked about this. There's like this giant bird that's like pooping all down in Fells Point all over the place. What are they called?
Pigeons?
No, they're giant. Blue herons. Great herons. There's a great heron nest. Well, there's a couple in Patterson Park, but down in Fells Point, do you know where the children's playground is? At the end of Fells?
Yeah.
So right there in that park, there's a giant nest in the tree, and there are these fucking herons in there. And the fucking ground is absolutely Jackson Pollocked with bird shit. It's insane the amount of bird shit that's on the ground.
We should go like get a bunch of peacocks and introduce them to Fells Point.
Oh God, no!
Infest Fells Point with peacocks.
Oh.
People would love it. They'd be like, "Oh my God, wow, peacocks!"
You know, people would be stealing those motherfuckers, right?
What are you gonna do with them?
This is Baltimore, homie. Motherfuckers are riding horses around and shit, like in the street, like it's nothing. You know, like fucking bulls get released from places and nobody knows where they came from.
Well, they get out.
From where?
From the slaughterhouse. But my question is how? Because it happens regularly.
It happens all the time. There's horses loose, or
it's like
cows
once a year.
loose,
There's a cow bull that like is running down North Avenue.
It's so fucking weird. But dude, I could totally see people just stealing fucking peacocks and just being like, "This is my pet peacock. Fuck yeah!" And I mean, you know, they had them at your school when you were there, right?
Yeah,
because they're not there anymore.
Nope.
Those things are terrifying at night. Like,
no, they're not.
Yes, they are. They scream. Sounds like a woman screaming. Those fucking the birds.
It's just the males, trying to mate.
No, it's the hens.
The hens are silent.
It's the boys that are screaming.
It's the peacocks that that do the screaming.
It's a terrible sound.
It's fine. I don't have any problem with it.
Do you remember the screaming of the peacocks, Clarice?
I used to have one of those peacocks. Was a buddy of mine. My freshman year, he would come up to the volleyball court out back of PG, the dorm called PG, and I would come outside and feed him cheddar goldfish.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fucking fat peacock, like, hey.
Yep.
Hey, Evan.
He's a friendly little guy.
How you doing? You got some of them? You got some of them crunches for me? Yeah.
My peacock friend.
It's always weird just walking through the woods and then coming across the peacock, and then all of a sudden they would do the thing, and you're like, that probably not a good sign.
They do their little dance.
Yeah.
They spin around a little bit.
Yeah. They're weird birds.
They are. Very dumb.
They're very dumb. Yeah, so I don't know how we got there, but hey, congratulations, we made it through.
Because, I don't know, they're delicious.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
food.
I mean, I've heard of people eating peacocks before.
Well, they're a pheasant, so you can.
Yeah. I mean, now I got to try peacock.
Or just pheasant.
Wonder if you could buy
the same thing.
Nope. Those feathers make it taste different.
Oh, okay. Extra protein.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be funny if you could tell how delicious a peacock was just by the feathers? It's like,
yeah. Ooh, this one's extra colorful.
He must be really flavorful. I bet you could probably buy peacock meat, right?
Yeah, somewhere. I don't see why it would even be a black market item other than it's like the national bird of India or some shit.
Oh,
they're not from the United States or continental North America.
Oh, yeah, you can buy weird shit.
How much is it, John?
I don't know. I haven't found.
You can get it at Fadley's.
Yeah.
Let me get a pound of muskrat.
God damn, it's expensive.
I'm sure.
For a 4 to 7 pound bird, it's $400.
Good God.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. For the record, I would never eat a peacock, I don't think. They're too weird.
Yeah, exoticmeatmarkets.com. You can find peacock
That's
meat.
what I'm looking at right now. Yeah.
Peacock shoved her phone in my face.
Peacock eggs for $99. One egg. One egg.
That's ridiculous.
You can buy a peacock heart for $49.99.
What?
That sounds like that's a specific buy. You're running a ritual if you're buying that shit.
This sounds illegal.
It does sound illegal. Well, fuck the episode. We're going through this website. Alligator meat, alpaca meat, antelope, armadillo, axis deer. What is an axis deer?
It's the cousin of the key deer.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh no, it's the cousin of the ally deer.
Yeah, there it was. That's where I was trying to get you to. It's really an interesting little deer. He's a cute little spot.
So is that the topic now? Is exotic meats?
I guess. I don't know. Oh my God, they got a lot of crazy shit.
We could do another 10 minutes on exotic meats and then do your intended topic.
Exotic meat goes great with maple syrup. What's an ayam samani chicken?
No fucking clue.
Oh, it's a black. Have you ever seen these?
The black ones with the big old tufts on the head.
Yeah, but even their meat's black and their bones are black too.
Whoa, they're Satan chickens.
Yeah, they're fucking crazy. Rocky Mountain oysters. You can buy rooster testicles. 8 ounces of rooster testicles. That's got to be a lot of testicles.
Okay.
What?
I mean, we could do the math on that because what's your average rooster weigh, and then you got to imagine the testicle on that thing. They don't have testicles. It's like the gonad inside. It can't be. Could you imagine?
Yeah, because chickens got
roosters
cloacas,
were running
right?
around with. If they were running around with balls hanging out, and they're swishing back and forth as they're
somebody's
walking around.
Somebody's putting truck nuts on those things.
Truck nuts on their rooster.
All right, bear meat, beaver, otter, groundhog.
I bet beaver's terrible. It's got to be really greasy.
That you can actually get at Fadley's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought it was raccoon.
No, they have
muskrat.
raccoon. They also have beaver.
Do they? Do they have gator?
I know that they have beaver because a friend of mine got a beaver from there and made a stew out of it. And it was disgusting because it was all oily and shit.
Yeah, yeah. Any of those amphibious mammals are always oily.
Jesus Christ. They got, bison, blue-footed chicken, bobcat.
Ew,
bobcat.
No, that's bad. Terrible.
Bobcat
Why?
fever,
No.
baby. How much is that?
Don't eat a bobcat. That's bullshit.
Oh, here they got, let's see. Smoked bobcat sausage. $30.
No.
1 pound. I want that.
I don't.
A pound.
I'm never going to eat a fucking cat. I don't care if it's a bobcat or a lion or a cougar or any of that shit.
A pound of bobcat stew meat. I got me some bobcat stew meat. It's $60. Holy
Jesus.
shit. A bobcat hind leg is $300.
They're not. Bobcats aren't even that big, so it's
no, they're,
I don't know.
Yeah, they're basically house cats. But they will fuck you
bigger.
up.
They're bigger than that. Yeah, they'll shred your ass off.
Holy shit, Evan. They got an exotic hot dog of the month club.
I mean, that's a write-off, John.
Yeah.
If anything's ever a write-off, that is.
Cayman meat, camel meat, coyote meat,
Okay.
deer meat,
Okay.
dove meat.
Why would you eat a coyote?
It's all bone. Duck meat,
But also dove meat. That's just pigeon.
elk meat, emu, and let's see, exotic hot dog of the month. Here's how they break down: January to December.
Sure.
Venison,
Okay.
bison,
Sure.
axis deer, bold as love,
Okay.
elk hot dog,
Right.
llama. Save the drama for your llama in May.
Llama.
June is goat. July is alpaca. August is
Okay.
alligator. September is
Okay.
antelope.
Okay.
October is beaver.
Ugh.
Beaver dog.
Beaver dog.
You turned a beaver into a hot dog. Camel hot dog and wild boar hot dog. Interesting.
That all sounds okay.
Okay, let's see what their exotic burgers of the month. Same kind of stuff. Ostrich, emu, bison, water
Whale.
buffalo, Muscovy duck, goat, alpaca, elk, lamb.
Human.
Yeah. Long pig. You're like, wait, what? Exotic pet food. Okay. Okay.
Pet food.
Frog legs, goat meat, goose meat, guinea fowl, guinea pig. Guinea pig. Oh yeah, cooey. I've had.
Yeah, they eat those
I've
in South
eaten guinea
America.
pig. I was thinking something else. I was thinking hamster for a second.
Oh yeah.
Hot dogs. They're like, that's the exotic meat. Hot dogs. You don't know what's in it. Iguana, which actually I hear a lot, is they call it tree chicken down in
They do.
Florida.
When I was in Costa Rica, there were a lot of them, and they had. We asked around. We were like, "Who? So can you get a roadside iguana stick or something like that?" And they're like, "No, we don't eat them. Only the Nicaraguans eat it." And I was like, "Is that some kind of slur?"
Yeah. Oh Jesus.
Are you being racist?
Okay, I'm gonna go through some of these real quick. Kangaroo, lamb, llama, camel, moose, muskrat, nutria. Nutrias creep me out. I would never eat that. Possum.
I would eat a nutria because they're just like so many of them.
Yeah, they're like something out of Star Wars. They freak me out. So you can get brains, heart, intestines, kidney, liver,
Nope.
lungs,
Sorry,
sweetbreads,
no.
and tongue. Sweetbreads are good. Ostrich, otter, partridge, peacock, pheasant, suckling pig, python, quail, rabbit, raccoon, rattlesnake, reindeer, salami, pepperoni. Well, that's not weird. Silky chicken. What's a silky chicken?
It's a chicken with
It's
a Jerry
another
curl.
black chicken. Okay. Blip, 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 blip. Where was I at? Squirrel meat, squab. They got a whole section for testicles. Rocky Mountain oysters. Turtle meat. Water buffalo, wild boar, wild pigeon. Yeah, I can get wild pigeon myself. I just go outside with a fucking blowgun.
Yeah, same with squirrel, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, yak meat and zebra. Zebra, addax, eland, gembok, oryx, wildebeest. They're all one category.
Weird.
Yeah, so that's it.
Weird.
Moonfish, parrotfish, lionfish, eel, shark meat.
Lionfish, actually, once there was a person who pitched a lionfish like of the month club on
weird.
Shark Tank because these pinheads down in Florida like get them in their tropical fish tank and realize very quickly that they will kill anything else you put in that tank with
Lionfish are
them.
mean as shit.
So yeah, they just like throw them into the water, and now they're an invasive species that's like killing everything in the
God.
in the Florida ecosystem.
Got to bring them up here. Let them get into some snakehead action.
But what this guy would do is he would go out and spearfish them and then sell them, roadside or to his friends or whatever.
How fucking
and
big do those things get?
They get pretty big.
Wow.
But I'm like, first of all, how are you going to scale this thing up to like,
Yeah.
how many customers could you possibly have when you're spearfishing like invasive fish off the coast of Florida?
Wow. Fucking this
Silly.
is bananas or meaty, I guess. So yeah, that exotic meat market, guys. This isn't an endorsement for them, but if you want some
Impromptu
crazy
meat
shit,
topic.
yeah, they got wild shit. I mean, they're exotic. So, oh shit. So any meat that they also offer as hot dog. Exotic hot dog market also offers, and then it's everything I just said.
Testicle hot dog.
Sable hot dog. What's
You
a
get a brain
what's
hot dog.
Sasibi?
A sasibi?
Yeah, TS.
It sounds like a cat of some kind.
Oh, it's a wildebeest.
Why would you? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, sure. Any of those pack animals, I'm fine with that. Whatever.
Yeah, it's a clip springer hot dog. That actually sounds like a dog. What the hell's a clip spring? What are these animals? They're making these things up. Oh God, it's like
I want a hyena sausage.
Like an antelope. Wild. Okay. These things all sound fake. A chital, I don't know what that is. A barrasinga.
These all sound like they come from the continent of
They
Africa.
all look like a Garanuk. That's fake. That's not a real animal. Nope, another antelope.
The jackalope.
Yeah, yeah. Like, wait a minute. What? A lechwe? Lechwe? Another antelope. God damn it. They really hate antelopes. Flamingo.
Oh, that can't be. Why would you do that?
And flamingo wasn't even on the list. They got flamingo ridiculous. Hot dogs. Wonder if they dye it pink. That'd be fucked up.
Yeah.
Mangalisa. Well, Mangalisa sounds good. That's a pig. Kurabata. Yeah. Crazy. Okay. Well, this is going to have to be something somewhere down the line.
This list brought to you by exoticmeatstore.com.
Yeah, exoticmeatmarket.com. Exotic meat markets. Yeah. So, okay. Well, everybody, good night. I don't think we can top that. Fucking peacock meat. That took us to a whole new place.
Don't yuck my yum and
eat peacock or bobcat.
Peace.
Yeah, fuck. Oh God. I love that when you look up peacock meat, there it says, "Can you eat peacock? How does it taste?" Like it tastes like chicken probably.
I would think pheasant is pretty rich.
Yeah, I mean it tastes like chicken. Let's be honest here.
Chickenish.
Yeah. Like chicken and other poultry, apparently. Peafowl is an incredible source of protein. Sounds like people hate peacocks. Want you to know that. Okay, let's get into maple syrup.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I've been waiting all week for this.
Oh, stop it. You just found out about this fucking 30 minutes ago. Do you like maple syrup?
Yeah, it's fine. I do find it to be exorbitantly expensive for kind of, a thing you put on breakfast that tastes better than, your store-bought product, but not so much better that like 4 ounces of it is like $8. So
yeah. Crosby loves maple syrup, and I'm constantly buying it for him for pancakes because it's all he uses. I grew up using King syrup like a normal person.
Caro.
No, King, not Caro. Have you ever had King syrup? You've had to have, right?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was about to say,
that King comes in clear and colored, right?
I think King makes a like regular like baking syrup. They do the golden syrup, which is basically American treacle from what I've figured out. Because golden treacle is basically King syrup. It's
okay. The golden syrup is basically your pancake syrup, and I thought for some reason they had like a corn syrup variant that's clear.
Which, by the way, if none of you have actually had King syrup out there, I highly recommend it. Like if you like pancake syrup,
there it is, right there.
If you like pancake syrup,
I didn't imagine it
because quote unquote pancake syrup is awful, disgusting shit. Like King syrup is like really rich and full of flavor.
Hold up.
It's fucking bananas how it tastes.
This is really strange because the golden syrup, the stuff that looks like, pancake syrup.
Oh,
shit. Is labeled King syrup golden.
Mm-hmm.
And it's dark. And then there's another variety that's King syrup golden that's clear.
Okay.
Weird.
That is weird. All right. Well, now we're going to do fuck maple syrup. We're talk about King syrup. Yeah, I like that stuff. I'm actually not, I got no problem with maple syrup as a cooking ingredient. I put it in a lot of stuff. I particularly do not like it on pancakes. I don't like pancakes. So I'm not the person to talk to about that. Bless you. But I love it in marinades, and it's really good on salmon. I like it for that kind of stuff. The flavor of it's always weird to me sometimes. Like there's an off note in a lot of maple syrup that I'm like, there's something about that I just don't enjoy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we get, grade A maple syrup. So I don't know. But maple syrup is syrup made from the sap of maple trees. In cold climates, these trees store starch in their trunks and roots before winter. The starch is then converted to sugar that rises in the sap in late winter and early spring. We were supposed to do this 2 weeks ago when it was actually a little more relevant because it's maple syrup season. And the impetus for this was we covered that because of the weird, very mild winter we had, the trees are already blown their load, and it's kind of fucking up the whole maple syrup production up in
the whole
Canada.
Like Diamonds maple syrup is fake. It's all a cartel. It's being controlled by the Canadian government.
What's that? Are you a maple syrup truther? What's going on?
Yes, I am.
Oh, Jesus.
No, this is fact. There is a government-controlled maple syrup cartel run by Canada's government.
Yes, but you were saying it's not real.
Oh, no, I mean the price of maple syrup is not real.
Gotcha.
Because Canada is controlling the supply.
Gotcha.
Just like diamonds.
Maple trees are tapped by drilling holes into their trunks and collecting sap, which is then processed by heating and evaporating much of the water, leaving the concentrated syrup. Maple syrup was first made by the indigenous peoples of North America. Mm-hmm. The practice was adopted by European settlers who gradually changed the production methods.
And killed all of the indigenous people.
Yes. Technological improvements in the 1970s further refined syrup processing. Like, apparently the 70s was the golden age of modern maple syrup. And that's
maple syrup?
Yeah, it's really weird. Virtually all of the world's maple syrup is produced in Canada and the United States.
Right.
The Canadian province of Quebec is the largest producer, responsible for 70% of the world's output. That's fucking crazy.
Separatist!
Yeah, right? We are Quebec. Fuck you. We keep all of the good stuff for ourselves. Canadian exports of maple syrup in 2016 were somewhere to, and this actually seems really low, Canadian dollars 487 million. Doesn't it seem like pretty low?
I don't know, I guess.
With Quebec accounting for some...
$500 million?
Yeah, but it's maple syrup. You would think that would be a little bit more, especially for how expensive it is.
I don't know that it is a necessarily international product, I don't know how many people in Japan are using maple syrup.
It is, and it's growing, but you're right. It's not huge.
Right.
We know it because we live in America, right?
Right.
People fucking grow up with this stuff. It's graded on its color and taste. Sucrose is the most prevalent sugar in maple syrup. In Canada, syrups must be made exclusively from maple sap to qualify as maple syrup, and must be at least 66% sugar. In the United States, a syrup must be made almost entirely from maple sap to be labeled as maple. Though states such as Vermont and New York have more restrictive definitions. You can put it on anything that you like sweet because it's sweet. So there's a bunch of different trees that, you can get maple syrup from. It's not just one kind of maple tree.
The red maple.
Red maples. There's a couple other ones.
Blue maple.
The red maple, the red maple has a shorter season. There's black maple and stuff, but and this was something as I was doing the research for this, I was like, can you get other syrups from other trees? But apparently, walnut, birch, palm trees and stuff, you can also get you can make syrups from. So,
ooh, I wonder if we could for all those urban foragers out there, if we could somehow make a syrup out of oak sap.
Oh yeah, I bet you could.
Or pine sap.
That would probably be bad. I know there when I was in the Lad Scouts, there was some old timey thing about chewing on pine sap or whatever. I don't remember what the fuck I'm thinking of. I'm having a fever dream about it, but yeah, it was some use for sap. You can get birch sap for $15-$30 for like a smaller bottle, like a thing of it. I would like to try what birch syrup tastes like.
I like birch beer.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's got to have that sort of like weirdly licorice flavor to it. Like, I have a jar of palm sugar upstairs, you know, like that I use for cooking, and that's, you know, just cooked down palm syrup. So, as was said before, indigenous people living in North America were the first group known to have done this. According to indigenous oral traditions, as well as archaeological evidence, maple tree sap was being processed into syrup long before the Europeans arrived. Yeah. There is no authentic account of how maple syrup production and consumption began, but various legends exist. One of the most popular involves maple sap being used in place of water to cook venison served to a chief.
Whoa.
And he liked the flavor of it because the water cooked down with it and it was really sweet. And they were like, holy shit, that's a thing. But that's, you know, it's like a legend. Indigenous tribes developed rituals around syrup making, celebrating the sugar moon, the first moon of spring, with a maple dance. Many Aboriginal dishes replaced the salt traditional in European cuisine with maple syrup. The Algonquins recognized maple syrup as a source of energy and nutrition. At the beginning of the spring thaw, they made V-shaped incisions in tree trunks. Then they inserted reeds or concave pieces of bark to run the sap into clay buckets or tightly woven birch bark baskets. The maple syrup was concentrated by leaving it to expose, like the air and stuff. They would get a layer of ice overnight, and then they would pull that off, thus pulling the water out of it. So it's kind of like ice beer, I'm thinking. Isn't that how ice beer is made? So then they learn to cook it down and stuff. Then the colonists come and they fuck everything up and, you know, start trying to reduce, like, tap every tree known to man so they can make money from it because they're assholes. Around the time of, I'm yada-ing a lot of the European stuff. Around the time of the American Civil War, syrup makers started using large flat sheet metal pans as they were more efficient in boiling. Like, kind of like how have you ever seen like old school, like Italian salt production where they have these giant pans that are like, you know, 8 inches deep, but they're 25 foot across and shit.
Yep.
That kind of thing. Around this time, sugarcane replaced maple sugar as the dominant sweetener in the U.S. As a result, producers focused marketing efforts on maple syrup just to be like, maple syrup, it's better than cane sugar. Go fuck yourself. I'm sure that was their first ad. The first evaporator used to heat and concentrate sap was patented in 1858. In 1872, an evaporator was developed that featured 2 pans and a metal arch. Excuse me. Around 1900, producers bent the tin that formed the bottom of the pan into a series of flues. This is all very exciting. Thank you, John, for reading this and thinking that it was good to put in there.
Listen, if you've got a toddler that needs to go to bed, play this episode.
Yeah, exactly. And they keep getting better and better at making this stuff. A large number of technological changes took place during the 1970s. So did 1970s, a great time to have pubic hair. Plastic tubing systems that had been experimental since the early part of the century were perfected, and the sap came directly from the tree to the evaporator house. So they would tap like an intravenous line into the tree, and it just would go right into the the cookhouse. So they were vacuuming all this shit out. They developed a reverse osmosis machine to take a portion of the water out of the sap before it was boiled. You know, that kind of stuff. And it, like, all kind of really weird, crazy stuff that streamlined making it and I guess made it cheaper, which is really weird. So
then they learned that no, the secret is to hoard it all and then control the release.
Do you
like
think
diamonds.
There's just a giant vat of maple syrup somewhere?
Yes, there is. I know there is because I have heard that there is. And if you don't contribute to the Canadian Maple Syrup Cartel, they will come for you.
Oh, Jesus.
Yep.
So like we said before, you get the sap, you boil it down, you get you use like a hydrometric scale to measure this, the brick scale, which is like the amount of sugar, the amount of water density going on in there. And then they filter it and you're good to go. You got maple syrup. You can, what we were talking about, like sometimes off flavors can be a result of contaminants in the boiling apparatus. There's also like, it's called buddy sap, Buddy. It's an off flavor that occurs late in the syrup season when the tree starts budding. So I guess that's like tree pee, like when it becomes a man or a woman.
Tree pubes.
Yeah. Pubescent tree juice. I don't know. It's pretty weird.
I like it when the tree's voice cracks. Hey,
Yeah. Stop doing that to me, guys.
get that tube out of my balls.
Wait till next year. Once the trees start fucking trying to finger each other, it's time to stop. Stop the maple syrup production.
Keep them far away from each other. The Holy Spirit in between. Come on.
Hey, trees, keep some room for Jesus. Okay.
Oh no, they're pollinating each other.
Oh no, it's all over the place.
God. The syrup is ruined.
The fucking bees are all happy. So let's see. I love the names for the houses, the cook houses, like Sugar Bush, Sugar House, Sugar Shack, a Sugar Cabin, Sugar Shanty, or a Cabana Sucra, the sugar, as you say in French Canadian. So maples are usually tapped beginning at the ages of 30 or 40 years of age, which is fucking crazy to me. Each tree can support 1 to 3 taps depending on its diameter. The average male tree will produce 35 to 50 liters, which is about 13 gallons of sap per season, which kind of doesn't seem like a lot. Up to 12 liters a day, which is interesting. So tap seasons typically happen during late winter and early spring, and usually last 4 to 8 weeks. I'm assuming they're wrapping it up right now, or are done with it, considering what was going on with the climate and how warm everything was. During the day, starch stored in the roots for the winter rises through the tree, as we said before, allowing it to be tapped. Sap is not tapped at night because the temperature drops and inhibits the flow. Although taps are usually left in place with, the old school way is there's a tap that you hammer into the tree, and then there's a little hook that you put a bucket on, and then once the sap starts flowing, it goes into the bucket. Until the 1930s, the United States produced most of the world's maple syrup, which is really fucking weird.
Did not know that.
Today, after rapid growth, well, that was what the 70s was all about in Canada. Like, they were like, we need to get up on these fucking hosers.
We have no exports here. We need to do something.
I can't believe we let those fucking Americans take over our thing.
Well, John, you know how I said that, like, there's this Canadian cartel?
Our fucking leaf, our flag is on the leaf.
The maple syrup cartel.
Yes.
Well, you know what happens sometimes to cartels? They get inside jobbed.
Okay.
Are you going to talk about the great Canadian maple syrup heist?
I don't think I am.
You aren't? Okay. Should I?
Yeah, sure.
So
hold, keep in your pants. Let me.
So what it's okay. Go ahead.
Let me get through this commerce.
With really super fun details.
This real fun
about
commerce dump.
Okay.
In 2015, Quebec accounted for 90% of the maple syrup produced in Canada, followed by New Brunswick, Ontario, and Nova Scotia, which is really stupid. As of 2016, Quebec had like almost 7,500 producers working with 13,500 farmers collectively, making over 8 million gallons, 30 million liters of syrup. I'm just kind of blowing through this. The Canadian provinces of Manitoba and Saskatchewan produce maple syrup using the sap of the box elder or the Manitoba maple. And then that goes on for a while. Vermont has been the largest U.S. producer with a record 9 million liters, 2.5 million gallons produced in 2022. Maple syrup has been produced on a small scale in some other countries, notably in Japan and South Korea.
There is a Japanese maple.
Yeah, they have red maples over there. However, in South Korea in particular, it's tradition to consume sap called goroso instead of producing it into syrup. So they just use, that's interesting. They just use the sap part. And then there's markings that the Canadians are getting very Italian about their, like how the Italians are like fucking crazy.
Regions.
Yeah. Like there's like a new thing that like, if they just passed a law that was like last week, I think the Italians, that if you're caught mispronunciating any Italian word, like food word, like saying gabagool instead of like capicola and shit like that, you will get a really big fine. Like, yeah. Well, I'll cover it on next week's food
I guess
news.
they don't have a constitution.
No, they're fucking dude. Mussolini. Come on, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Remember that guy? So then there's grading. There's and as of 2014, there used to be like a really weird standard of grading, and then in 2014 they sort of revised all the standardized grading systems to harmonize Canadian and United States regulations. So grade A is basically everything now. Golden colored, delicate taste, amber color, dark color, very dark color. Grade B is just kind of like, it doesn't have too much piss in it. Like that kind of thing. The old grading system was like fucking extra light, medium, amber, dark, fancy,
sweet, crude.
Yeah, grade A, grade B, grade A amber, grade B, light amber, that kind of shit. Like it was really,
oh my God.
Yeah. And that was really annoying to a lot of people. So they were like, fuck this shit. Let me see. What was I going to say before you got into? So there's a lot of imitation,
maple
flavored syrups that people use a lot. So this is what I wanted to get to. This is really fucking weird. And I read a story about this and it's bananas. So do you know, fenugreek, the spice fenugreek?
I don't think I do.
Okay, it's used a lot in Indian food.
Okay.
The actual plant contains an extremely potent aromatic compound called solitone. It's also present in lovage and some aged rums and molasses. Solitone is passed through the body, and when consumed in heavy amounts, your sweat and urine starts to smell like maple syrup. So I read this.
So they started bottling people's sweat and urine.
I read this article where this woman, a friend of hers dropped off these like greens, like here's some salad greens and shit. And she was eating it. And then she's just like one day she was just kind of sitting there and was like, huh, we didn't have anything with maple syrup. Like, what the hell's that smell? And then realized it was her. And for 2 weeks, she couldn't stop smelling like maple syrup every time she sweat.
2 weeks.
And her fucking husband was like, this is pretty cool. And then after an hour, he was like, you smell really gross now. Like, I don't like the smell of maple syrup anymore. And it was a really weird thing. And she was like, am I dying? What the fuck is going on with my body? And then realized she ate fenugreek and, she smells like maple syrup. Isn't that fucking weird?
That is very weird.
I'm like, that would be like...
I mean, but, it's not unusual for, like, eating a lot of curry. You're going to smell like curry. Like, I don't know. It's just... Yeah.
I mean, kind of. But not really. Curry's just a spice mixture. Like...
But look,
you smell like curry because you were cooking curry and the smells on you. Like,
no,
if you eat
shit
curry,
definitely comes out of your pores, and it's noticeable depending on what you've eat or drank. I mean, whiskey for fuck's sake. Like the next day,
I guess
you
I eat a lot of curry and I don't smell like curry.
Okay, well, they probably different people have different odors after they consume different products.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on like coffee, asparagus, whatever pea.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole weird thing that some people can smell it and some people can't. And it's not that you don't produce it. It's just that you can't smell it, which is really weird. I can smell it. So
I don't think I can detect asparagus, but coffee, definitely.
You don't smell asparagus pea?
I don't think so. I'll have to do a field test.
The thing that I'm always amazed. I mean, it's asparagus season, like next week starting, basically. The crazy thing about asparagus pea that I'm always amazed about is how quick it is. Like you eat it, and it's like almost instant. Yeah. Like
sure.
And it's it's a very
kind of like when I eat a salad and then I immediately shit it out.
Wait a minute. That's you might have to go get checked out. I don't think that's right.
I'm not the only one. I Googled it.
It's just like whole salads are just falling at your butt.
Yep, pretty much.
Oh, that's terrible.
It's weird.
You need to see a doctor, my friend.
A gastroenterologist.
So yeah, maple syrup. It's crazy. I got a big list of like pretty weird, not weird, but just things that they make with maple syrup, and it's pretty wild. But you go with your flat Earth thing.
My what?
Your truther thing.
Okay. Oh, you mean this heist?
Oh, the heist. Yeah. The maple syrup heist. Go for it.
Okay.
I think we had talked about it in some previous thing, but I want to be...
I can't remember, but I first caught on to this. There's a series on Netflix called Dirty Money, and the first season's the best season, and there's an episode called The Maple Syrup Heist. It's episode 5. Actually, if you haven't seen any of those shows, like, oh, God, that is a really good show about, like, money crime.
Okay.
One of the episodes features Donald Trump and about how
money
like
crime.
They interview the producers of The Apprentice, and they're kind of like, yeah, it's kind of our fault that he's the president now.
They made him seem like a legit businessman.
Yeah. And, put him on TV, and he's like legit famous and whatnot. Anyway, so to set everything, and I'm basically just cribbing all of this from the old Wikipedia. 1966, a group of maple syrup producers in Quebec participated in a joint plan to collectively market maple syrup. The effort inspired the formation of a larger agreement across Quebec, which became known as the Federation of Quebec Maple Syrup Producers, aka a cartel.
Okay.
The FPAC, as it's called in abbreviation, maintains a strategic reserve of maple syrup, a cartel, officially known as the International Strategic Reserve, ISR, across multiple warehouses in rural Quebec towns. Okay, so picture it, imagine it. Warehouses full of that sweet brown liquid in rural areas,
Whiskey?
Just in shacks, I wish, in various sugar houses. And then some nefarious individuals got together and they were like, hey, man, we got to steal some barrels of this shit. Over the course of several months between 2011 and 2012, the contents of 9,571 barrels valued at $18.7 million Canadian
Holy shit.
were stolen. Yeah, stolen in an insider job from a FPAC facility in Saint-Louis de Blanfort, Quebec. The syrup was stored in unmarked white metal barrels that were inspected only once a year. Thieves used trucks to transport barrels to a remote sugar shack where they siphoned off the maple syrup, refilled the barrels with water, and then returned them to the facility. As the operation progressed, the thieves started siphoning syrup directly off barrels in the reserve without refilling them and putting empty barrels back, and that's how they got caught, because the barrels were empty. And I guess they just figured out who I don't know, the insider was, and they arrested 17 people, wow. All of which were just fined a whole lot of money. I don't think many of them did a whole lot of... Oh, no, sorry. One of the guys did 8 years in prison.
God damn.
Plus a $9 million fine.
Jesus.
With an extension to 14 years if the fine was not paid. Later, the Quebec Court of Appeal ruled that it was excessive and lowered the fine to $1 million. And the Supreme Court has since reversed that decision and reinstated the original fine of $9.4 million Canadian. And some of these other guys did 2 years, 5 years, and all of them had to pay a whole lot of Canadian money back to the government for betraying the cartel. The government-sanctioned cartel.
They gotcha.
The strategic reserve, John.
I was looking at some like not weird, but just interesting maple syrup products.
Okay.
And now there's a really famous Canadian chef. His name's Martin Picard. He makes
Jean-Luc's brother.
Yeah, you can buy a can with his face on it, but it has maple condensed milk in
okay.
it. and that sounds really fucking good. He's the chef owner of All Pied de Cochon. All Pied. I don't know how to say that word.
All right. Okay.
But like there's maple cream, and you can get like I've had maple powder, which is really good, which is like just maple sugar that's like really fine, and that's like a finishing sugar. I would just put it in my tea. It's really good. But you can buy like hot sauces and shit, and anything that's sweet.
Maple jalapeno.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's all kind of stuff that you can get, and there's all kind of different flavored syrups and maple ketchup and that kind of stuff, and that's always good to just kind of look in, lots of infused syrups and shit. It's kind of just fun to just mess around with. I will say one of the best things I've ever had when I was in Canada, I was in Montreal, and out at one of their markets, there was a guy who was just there, and he had this big block of snow, and he was pouring fresh maple syrup into the snow, and it would like freeze, kind of get really cold, and then it would be like a piece of candy.
Yeah,
you would eat it and it would fucking melt in your mouth. It was so good.
Yeah, I've seen old videos of kids doing that shit where they just put like a little popsicle stick into the snow and then they pour it on there and they have a little maple pop.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. So, yep, that's it.
Literally sweet.
Yeah. That's maple syrup. There's so much other stuff that goes into like weird, and I didn't want to get into the cartel stuff because there is like a lot of distrust about it, like you have, where they're this year aside, they're like, God, every year's a bad year for you guys. It's amazing that there's so much fucking maple syrup. Like,
yeah, they have a strategic reserve that they've maintained since 1966.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fine.
Right before they took over America. So there you go, everybody. Maple syrup.
Woo, what a barn burner of a topic.
Oh, stop it. It's fun.
It's no exotic meats.
It's not an exotic meats episode, but they all can't be exotic meats.
We just got to get some chicken testicles and put maple syrup.
I enjoyed finding out about maple syrup. I really enjoyed finding out about fenugreek and how it makes your sweat smell like maple syrup. That was worth all the research right there.
Weird.
So yeah, that's it for the Rude Cooking School podcast. Thank you for listening. We really appreciate it. We would also appreciate if you would smash that like button anywhere you are listening currently to this podcast.
Don't smash it too hard or you'll break your screen.
Yeah, don't do that. Just hit the like button. We don't promote anything. We don't pay to promote anything. So word of mouth is how we get around. And if you like something on your specific, be it Spotify or iTunes or whatever it is, that actually really helps us with visibility, because the more likes, the more the algorithm is like, oh, I should show other people. And then it does. So
I didn't realize the algorithm could talk.
Yeah, it's sentient now. It's really scary. You can also join our Facebook page. It's a lot of fun over there. Check it out. You should also check out Evan's podcast. Tell him about it, Evan.
It's called The City That Breeds Podcast. You can find it on all of the podcasting platforms, and it's at the website ctb.show. This week we shat it a lot, and we came up with a very funny bit at the end about single serve tornadoes, and you should listen to that. It's
okay. Awesome. And yeah, that's it. We will be back next week with some food news to tell you all about I guess I gotta pop in that one story we were talking about. What was that? What was it?
To what now?
The story I was saying I was gonna have to add to the. I've already forgotten about it. It's how.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I'll go back and listen. Anyway, thanks for listening to the Rude Cooking School podcast. We will see you later, guys. My name's John Hauser III. Don't yuck my yum.
And don't eat peacocks or flamingos. Ew, why?
Yeah, just eat bobcats.
Or that. No.
Groundhogs?
Sure.
Okay, eat groundhogs. See ya, everybody. Peace.
Bye.